Shalom, shalom, Mish Yasharal. I pray y'all are well tonight. Back again to run my chops. No, I want to tell y'all about, I want to tell this phone because I think some of y'all, or most of y'all, are just had it, are fed up with me. And that's okay. I hope y'all aren't, and y'all just been busy or something, I don't know. But what I got to say has to be told, and I'm going to tell it. I had a dream last night, and I just remembered it. Here it is, 10:27 p.m., and like 30 minutes ago, I remembered it, having it. And what was weird was right before I woke up, like towards the end of the dream, I was in like reality, like I knew I was dreaming, and I kept reminding myself in the dream to not forget it, to like make sure I was like, I had the thought like I have to remember what I learned in this dream. And I haven't remembered all of it, but there's main one thing that we can take away, that I can take away, or whoever listens to this can take away from it, that I need to say to this phone. Because, like I've said before, she ain't like anyone else I talk to. My phone, she just lays there, listens, like she's the best listener, and gives no input, really. We have a great, understanding between one another. I pay her bill every month, and I take good care of her. And her job is one of her jobs is to listen. Wouldn't that be nice, though, if you had someone that would just listen to you and not just sit there and nod and say, oh yeah, but really listen. I work hard at it, like I've mentioned before. Most people are astonished. And it's not anything special that I've done, it's just no one really listens. Like if someone talks to me for a while and I just let them talk and I don't try to get my, word in, I don't try to butt in. And after them talking for like 5 minutes, I reply, and it's proof that I've been attentive the whole time, and they just can't believe it. And I wouldn't be able to believe it either. I can't believe it that I do it, but if you want to be the change you ask for, you gotta be it. But anyways, in the end of that dream, I had that thought, like, I have to remember this. One part of it was that Tom Hanks is gonna make a movie about cloning. Now, I don't know. That probably won't ever happen. If it happens, your mind can be blown just like mine. And it was showing me what all this is about. Like, it showed me something that all this is about that I never realized, and I don't think anyone else has either. And it's got to do with cloning and our bodies. And the phrase, "be thou removed," kept coming up over and over to my mind. And when I remembered having the dream just a few minutes ago, that's what I said. I remembered the Tom Hanks movie part, and then I said, "Be thou removed." I went straight to my Google, but I wanted to go to my Bible app, but for some reason I went to my Google search bar, typed it in there, but quickly went back to my Bible app and typed it in the search bar. Be thou removed. I had no idea what it was gonna do, and there's tons of scriptures on it. And I really have no idea what I'm being led to right now, but I know I'm being led, and I want to confess a little something too. You know, like I was just saying, if you want, you know, if you are asking for change, and we're out here exposing wickedness like we ought to, shedding light on things, esteeming the Most High, but most that I see are like myself. We bitch about some things too and whine, and for good reason. But if we're not, you know, we're hypocrites if we're not making an effort our own selves to change whatever action or behavior we're whining about. And I want to say, I've been, and this is something I've said a lot, but I got a new outlook on it. I've been acting like I have the same ability the Most High does. I've been complaining about people being blind, without eyes to see and ears to hear, more than what I ought to. I should have just maybe said something about it once or twice and then let it go. Because I often say that the things I've seen, that the only explanation is that the Most High showed me. The stuff that I know, and I'm not saying I know more than anyone, but I'm saying the stuff that I've been shown, there's no way I could have come to the reality of all that, any of it, if it wasn't for the Most High showing me. I could have never figured this stuff out on my own. So when I'm talking to someone and they just can't see the truth in it, even though it's so obvious, you feel like a 2-year-old would know. And I get frustrated. The big thing that I'm doing something really wrong, and I didn't realize, I guess, how big or severe that was. And that's, you know, acting like I'm the Most High, like, you know, like when I get frustrated when I explain something and I feel like I explained it perfectly, a lot of times I don't. When I walk away, I'm like, man, no wonder they couldn't understand you. You know, you did a horrible job that time, Dave. But there's times where I explain it, you know, and I'm like, man, why can't they see this? It's because the Most High hasn't showed them. Now, why that is, I don't know that either. And who would I, if I try to guess what that is, why they ain't, why the Most High hasn't shown them? What am I, the Most High? You know, I gotta stop this stuff. And anyone else that does it, we need to stop. For real. It's disrespect to our Abba, Yahuwah. It really is. And we may not see it that way, but it's the truth. Anyway, my dream. I dreamed that Tom Hanks made a movie about, you know, it was predictive programming, and it hadn't even, the trailer hadn't even came out yet. and it was about cloning, and I kept hearing "Be thou removed," and it was, I'll try to get all the details and try to get them on here, but all that I know was that it was about removing us, the real us, from these bodies and from our land, from anything that we own. Like a thief, they want to take over all that we have, and they want, and they were thinking, "Be thou removed," towards us, towards the children of the Most High, and Him, and the Most High. Because, it says Satan, wants to sit in the seat of the Most High and, be above Him. They want anything that ain't them, "Be thou removed." But so I typed it in the search bar, and the first one I did see was where Yahusha said, "If you say to a mountain, be thou removed," and that's the only one I remember where "be thou removed" was said. But there's a lot of places, right? A lot of places. There's a lot to do with the land. Like I bookmarked a few of them here. Right here. Joel, "For look, in those days and at that time when I turn back the captivity of Yehuda and Jerusalem, then I shall gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I shall enter into judgment with them there for my people, my inheritance, Yasharal, whom they have scattered among the nations, and they have divided up my land, and the people of Yehuda and the people of Jerusalem you have sold to the sons of Yawan, to remove them far from their borders. See, I am stirring them up out of the place to which you have sold them, and I shall return on your own head what you have done." Right there. "From the land of Kittim it has been revealed to them." Revealed. And I'm going to work hard at not trying to get anyone to see this. I don't want to be playing like I'm the Most High. And this is why. And this lesson, the moral of this story, I just got shown within the last hour or two, and it's been what I've been trying to get my son to see all day. And right around the time Abba showed me, I was showing my son pretty much the same thing. Pretty much. Anyway, y'all, too long. Hopefully y'all will listen and help me even. This has never really been about Stuart thinking, "Look what I can do." I was, every time I talk to my mom, it's so frustrating. It's worse than talking to a 2-year-old that's throwing a tantrum. This is how it goes. This is what our last conversation went, how it went about 2 hours ago, and this is how they all go, but each one a little worse than the one before. She messaged me and said she was sick and that she might have to go to the hospital, which is a common. Her and my sisters are hypochondriacs, I promise you. Well, so I called her and I said, "What's wrong?" And she said, "Well, her pastor's wife," she said, "she has the COVID and she's real sick, and I just pray that it ain't COVID," she said. And I said, "Mom," and I just had this conversation with her 2 days ago, and I've had it with her more times than I want to count. I said, Mom, why do you ask me that? I said, why can't you see there's no such thing? Why do you... I just told you 2 days ago, you just... you know... And she starts getting irate, and she says, like, this is... I'll just explain, just try to repeat this last one. She said, yes, there is, David. How do you think all these people are dying? And I said, Mom, I've told you this. I've told you. I said, when I think about all the evidence, when I try to explain all the evidence to you, and I think about all the countless evidence, pieces of evidence that I could show you that you should have done looked at and seen, it makes me want to throw up. It makes me want to puke. All the 201, Event 201s, and the government documents showing that COVID stands for Certificate of Vaccination Identification. I mean, just tons and tons and tons and tons of stuff. The flu being gone, 98% gone. And then she says, well, there's people dying, you know. What are you saying? And I say, this is the same, it's like talking to a wall, repeating the same things over and over. I said, I know there are a lot of people dying, but there ain't no COVID. And she goes into, well, what's it matter if there, and I'm like, well, it ain't, but the way you talk is like, you know, you're oblivious to this whole thing. And I wasn't going to say any more, but she said she was going to go to the hospital and have them check her out or whatever. And so then, you know, what do you do? Like, y'all know, my dad died from it. And every time we talk, I stay super calm, because this is really important to me. And she accuses me of arguing with her and being hostile all the time. And I'm talking like this right here. And she is turned all the way up. She's being not quite hostile, but aggressive. Defensive. Not letting me say anything. Accusing me falsely of things that I'm not saying or doing. Like telling me that I just called to argue and blah, 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 blah. And like tonight I said, Mom, I know I probably ain't right in a lot of this. I'm going about this all wrong, obviously. I said, but if you knew that this was all a big scam, and I was talking to you like I had no idea, and you knew, would you not say something to me? Try to, like, let me know. And she never can answer that. And I say, you probably wouldn't. You probably just let me think what I want to think. I said, but that's you. I can't. You're my mom. I can't. I don't want to have to live with regret that I didn't try. And then she's like, well, what's it matter? And I said, well, because if you go, those people in there, they're not your friend. You know, they sound all nice, yeah, as they're jamming it up in you, killing you. And I'm sure there's nice people there. But the agenda of the whole group, the whole deal, is stay away from that place. Unless your arm's hanging off or something like that, you know? Anyway, I was realizing then, like, I gotta stop. I can't. I'm just gonna have to let it be. Because, you could tell her, she could tell you that the sky's pink. And what are you gonna do? If your mom honestly believes it, are you not gonna say, Mom, you know that it's blue, right? And then she says, stop arguing with me. It's not blue, it's pink. You're insane. You've been watching too many videos and stuff like that, and just cuts you down and falsely accuses you of a bunch of stuff. But I need to quit. I really do. But I don't want to live with regret either. But anyway, earlier today, I was talking to my son about a fight got brought up that I had years ago. And I told him something that a lot of people, I've heard a lot of men say this, and it's the truth. Those men whatever, men or women, which I've never really heard women say this, but those men who want you to believe there ain't no one that can whip them, and they could stomp a mud hole in anyone's ass that exists, they're more than likely straight up bitches, and they don't want none of you or no one else. And that's what I've seen. I've seen that to be true. And usually the ones that don't say much are the ones you need to worry about. And I often will, if somebody asks me about a fight or something that I've had, I tell them like it is, and most people don't know how to handle that, But I told him something that I learned on my own, and that no one taught me. I just figured this out somehow on my own, and it's worked to my advantage my whole life up to this point. And that's when anyone goes there and starts disrespecting me or whatever, I just let them know right away that you're not going to talk to me like that, and I let them know that we can do whatever right now. But I told him, I said, most times when I do that, I got no idea. I'm thinking I got a good chance of getting my ass kicked right here, honestly. But up to this point, most of them get the message, and they realize I'm not gonna play, and I won't. I will. Whoever goes to fight me, they're gonna have to fight me. I probably will get my ass kicked, but they won't want to fight again, whether they whip me or not. But most times people, they realize that I will go there, and they just shut up and laugh it off and play it like a joke, and everything's cool. And the few who called my bluff, I just hurried up and throwed hands like quick. I just started knocking the shit out of them. I mean, that's just the truth. I'm not bullshitting you. And it's always worked to my advantage. Because like Mike said, everyone's got a plan until they get hit in the mouth. And then once they see you, they could be thinking they're gonna mop the floor with you, but right as they're thinking that, if they get punched really hard in the mouth, everything changes, their whole game plan. And it's always worked for me. It's never not worked. And there's been quite a few times that people it worked on, if they knew that same thing, they probably would have just it wouldn't have been good for me. I'll tell you that much. And I was, I told him, I was talking to him, I was saying, every person, every guy I've ever seen that was all macho and tough, and that everyone thought they were the biggest, baddest dude around, they always end up proving to me that they were the opposite of that. And what I've used, no one taught me. I seen it one day and I realized how it worked. And I do have cojones, I'll put it that way. And I don't like being disrespected, and I won't let it happen. But most times when I check someone, you would never know. You would think I got all the confidence in the world. But most times, 90% of the time, I'm thinking, yep, this is either going to go bad for me, and it's probably going to be bad, or whatever. But I do it anyway. Because, like I told him today, if you let someone disrespect you and talk to you like you're a bitch, everyone that hears that, the guy that's talking to you like that, and everyone he's going to tell and convince that that's how he talked to you, is going to want to disrespect you. And if you don't put a stop to it right away, the harder it's going to be to get it to stop. And I, myself, I won't stand for someone talking to me like anything other than what I am. And that's a grown-ass man. I don't disrespect nobody. I show everybody the utmost respect, and I expect it back. But he's been disrespecting me lately. Not with his mouth, but if I ask him to do something, he'll say he's going to do it, and then when I turn around, it ain't done, and it just keeps going on and on. And I've told him, I've said, son, there's nothing wrong with you. You heard what I said. You know what you got to do. So there's only one explanation for you not doing it, is you don't respect me. You're pretty much saying, screw you, Dad, but not saying it. But that's what it is. That's how I take it. You got no respect. When I was his age, and I told him this, the people that I respected that buried their boot up in my ass, a second time of that happening couldn't occur, because there's no way. I knew what I would get. So it didn't happen. So I had the utmost respect for him. Plus, I wanted them to know I respected them. But you can't do that these days. I can't do that. I have ex-wives. And I don't want to do it. But there are times where I feel like, man, back in the 90s, you wouldn't be, I wouldn't have to tell you to do something over and over again for the millionth time. It would get to a point where when you seen it needed to be done, you knew better to go ahead and get it done. So I didn't even have to ask you, because if I did, you knew, Like the people that would do that to me, I had a level of respect that I would never want them to get to I knew better. Like I looked at them with fear. like we should have with Abba. And a lot of us don't. What I said, I've been guilty of. I say that I have fear of Abba, and I do. But why do I keep doing what I'm doing? Why do I keep thinking? And I don't think of it like that. I don't go to someone when I'm about ready to have a conversation with them, or when I'm making a video or whatever. I don't think, yep, I'm going to say it like this and do it like this, and they're going to see it and they're going to change their ways and it's going to be great. I never think that. I have in the past, but I think I have to try. That's my thought process. But if I truly feared Abba, I would say, I'm not, who am I? I'm not saying a word. That's something only he can do, and I'm not for 1 second letting him or anyone else think that I can do anything close to what he can do. Hell no. That's how I should behave. And I'm going to try harder to let my actions show him and anyone else that that's how I think. And that goes back to the dream I had, to the phrase, be thou removed. I had that thought that they were thinking that towards us, the children of the Most High. And I had this laugh, this comical thought about it, thinking, who do they think they are? What do they think? Their genies are just gonna twitch their nose and we're gonna be thou removed, poof, and vanish? Only Abba can do that. These guys are insane, and that's not what it is. They've got no respect for Abba Yahuwah. And if they did, they would never have that thought. Our respect isn't, mine anyways, isn't where I often think it is, and nowhere near where it needs to be. And that's something I'm personally going to work on. And it's just funny how, even though now I see I've been being disrespectful, he's still teaching me, just like I'm still teaching my son. And letting him know, like talking about that fight, I always remind him, don't ever go start a fight. Don't look for a fight. I hate fighting. And anyone that says they like it, they're more than likely lying. Unless you're getting paid for it or something. But if anyone tries to treat you in a disrespectful way, if you don't handle it right there, they're always gonna disrespect you. Well, Abba showed me today that I've been being disrespectful to him, and he's getting fed up. And I hope that if anyone hears this, and I just hope anyone hears it, put it that way. And if I can come up with more of that dream, I'll drop it here. If Tom Hanks makes a movie about cloning next, well, you heard it first right here on De Facto. But anyways, that's all I wanted to say. I won't keep you any longer or annoy you. I love y'all. Shalom, shalom. For now, peace out, bees out.